Oh, hello, we're live. Finally. Hopefully, you can hear me clearly. I hope my voice is a lot clearer than the air conditioning unit in the background. Um, I hope no problems would occur. I've mentioned in the past why I have issues watching, live streaming because, well, how do I explain this? Okay. I hope no issues would arise. I see one, I think that's Grateful Life. Thank you very much. And if you see me occasionally itchy, I apologize for that. And also, I tried to find a way to sneak in what I promised for the audience, if you know what I mean. I'm sorry if I would be using that word because since we're talking about one of the mukbangs that she finally made, if I'm going to react to that, it might as well be with that item that Chantal reacted to. Unfortunately, this has gotten cold. Just to show you what I have. Thanks for all you do. I love your readings. Thank you very much. Yeah, which is why it's a little different now. Instead of reading the tweet, I would be reacting straight with my own uh, order of Jollibee as well. Unfortunately, it's not as big as the Jollibee that Chantal made, but still enough for us to use in this reaction video. So it's gotten cold. I bought it about 3 hours ago. Jolly spaghetti. Some people call it on Twitter nasty. That's quite unfair. Not because spaghetti is sweet, you would call it nasty, please. And of course, spicy chicken joy. It looks like the branch where I bought the Jollibee had too many wings. Thank you very much, Grateful Life. Make sure to share this because I'm not sure if everyone has received the notification. I have a tendency to send the notifications late. Not everyone gets to watch it. Also, I have to admit I'm not that affected when it comes to the eating sounds. I make eating sounds myself. There is the food, chicken wings, chicken joy. I was given the wings and then the gravy. And then I chose the version that does not have the rice. You are given an option to pair the chicken with spaghetti, jolly spaghetti, that is notoriously sweet by foreigner standards. We have three viewers, thank you very much. That not everyone likes rice, but as you can remember that mukbang, it's carbs on carbs on carbs. So, because I've already spoken for about 4 minutes here, let's go ahead with this reaction. Let's see. Yeah. By the way, a bucket full of chicken joy. I checked on the store. There's a 6 piece version. There's an 8 piece version. So I doubt that 5 pieces went to Salah, 5 or 3 pieces. Because if you are a little aware, this is not Chantal's first Jollibee mukbang. But of course, because a lot of people kinda complained about she ate a bigger serving of the spaghetti and a bucket full of chicken joy, and she'd like to still sell the idea that she is losing weight. Too bad for her, nobody believes her. So, let's start.
Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey. So today I have a feast of a meal here. We have
Shout out to Christine, aka at Stuff K said, because, well, of course, this footage is from her archive, and I don't have access to Kiwi Farms lately. I don't use store.
Jollibee. I have some paper here with some utensils. So I have Jollibee. I haven't had Jollibee in a long time. I did a road trip once and ate Jollibee. There's a lot of Jollibees here, and
I am not surprised that there are a lot of Jollibees in that area of Kuwait. If she's still living in that part, there are so many immigrants. Um, the immigrants have their own, even their even their local cuisine already have restaurants there. Sorry, I almost dropped my spaghetti. I don't want to make a mess.
I'm gonna give it another try. The chicken is really good, but we're gonna try the rice, potatoes, and I'm gonna have another go at the spaghetti. And we're gonna talk about a creepy Kuwaiti jinn story. But let me set up a thumbnail. I need your help with this. So just be patient, okay?
You're supposed to set up the thumbnail before you made this mukbang. On the other hand, this is not a live stream, so yeah, maybe you have some trouble with that. I just like showing my food. I'm so proud of Jollibee. Okay.
So this was a 9-piece, and Salah came and took his share, which he eats more chicken than me. Some things I eat more than him, but some things
9 piece, and the rest were taken by Salah, 6 pieces in one sitting. No wonder he has noodle arms with all that weight gain.
he eats more than me.
Hello, Betty Boykin. I cannot stand her chewy slurp and eating a large serving spoon. Yeah, because for Chantal, nothing is big enough for her gullet. And just in case, I'm not sure if you saw my Jollibee, but I would be eating Jollibee while reacting to a Jollibee mukbang.
So I have a huge gravy, and there's small gravies that came with it, so we're gonna make a mega gravy. Yes, I want a mega gravy.
Carbs on carbs on carbs. Carbs from the pasta, carbs from the mashed potato, and carbs from the rice.
Okay, let's try this. So while I'm setting this up, because when I'm eating, I know you guys don't like when I'm talking, I'll start talking about the story. Basically, somebody brought this to my attention, a viewer, and I looked more into it, so thank you for, I have the garbage here, whoever suggested that. One of the keys to doing mukbangs and not stressing yourself out is keeping things tidy.
Hello, DJ Shine Stories. I'm eating Jollibee. I'm eating Jollibee while reacting to another Jollibee. Food review ni Chantal. Correct. Correct, DJ Shine. Hello, good evening. Hello. I hope my eating sounds don't annoy you.
So I do try to do that as much as possible. So anyway, thank you for suggesting that. So I looked more into it, and there's actually a lot of stories about it. This Kuwaiti folk singer, very popular in the Gulf countries, had a very, very successful career as a musician here in the Gulf countries, and especially Kuwait. And her name was Nora, I think. Takakaka. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. I'm really bad, so I apologize. But we'll call.
That's how lazy you are with your content, Chantal. You won't even make an effort to find the right pronunciation for the people that you're talking about. You just want to make it look like you can do a mukbang and yeah, and try to include some characters into your story, and then
Her Nora. So we have some Coke. Okay, and so this singer apparently went to a wedding, got invited to sing at a wedding, and it was a wedding of gents, apparently. So
what do you mean a wedding of gents? Wedding of gentlemen? Wedding of how many people are there? Yeah, yes, DJ Shine. If she's doing mukbang, I'm doing a mukbang too, but I'm only doing this on special reasons, or maybe if I can have a mukbang like Chantal, maybe not that much because You know, in the Philippines, you eat carbs plus carbs plus carbs. And then people will start looking at you, oh my God, you eat too much. Aren't you not scared of getting fat? Hindi ka ba natatakot na tumaba? You know what? Asian culture is like, Filipino culture, like, you haven't seen a friend in a long time and then they see you, hi, hello, you have gotten fat, tumaba ka. Like, we, we haven't met for a long time and the first thing you realize is I am fat? What? Never mind. Back to our reaction.
It was like a non-human wedding, okay? Now, jinns are like, in the Arabic world, they don't believe in like ghosts.
Jin meaning Djinn. Let me just spell it out. So this is a Jin story. It's like a Middle Eastern version of a ghost story. And just to explain a little here, there's a concept in mukbang that was popularized by a mukbanger named Stephanie Su. Let me spell her name out. Su. Stephanie Su would tell crime stories or some mysteries while doing a mukbang. And not everyone likes that because you are eating, you're trying to eat, and then you're talking about crime stories that involve the most unsavory things at all. And it doesn't, you know what, it's if it had been a different mukbanger, the appetite might have been dead. Okay. Is that a bowl of gravy? Yes, Betty, it's a bowl of gravy. It's often something that you can only ask by request from Jollibee or stores like Jollibee because this is the basic size of a gravy if you buy Chicken Joy from them. I hope I will not spill my so that you can compare my gravy with her gravy. Also, I also try to buy the spicy. Oops, it's that small. This is my hand. It's not swollen because I don't have high blood. That is a bowl of gravy because, she'd be pouring that on the mashed potato, she'd be pouring it on the rice. And she'd be telling these stories. No, it's for a family of six. Yeah, I do understand.
But they
Okay.
believe in jinns, which are spirits, lower form spirits, lower than angels.
So this is how jinns look like. They look like the Muslim version or Middle Eastern version of demons among us Christians. Okay. So, let me just translate this. Bowl, kasi talaga pag sa ibang bansa, sa atin sa Pinas Jing small size. I kind of agree. You know, Filipino size is often treated as a joke. Small sizes. Just because we have small appetites and you have a big appetite, well, good luck. And then, no, that's for a family of six. Yeah, it is for a family of six. I think it's almost the same size as uh, KFC's famous bowl. Amberlyn Reed's favorite chicken order from KFC. It's also sold here. Tastes great, especially if you're a gravy person.
And they're made from fire. They're born from fire. Okay, and there's some terrifying stories about jinns that I've heard. So I will share some of them with you, but this one is about the jinn wedding. So this is like rice. It comes in like a little hamburger package. So we're gonna try the rice.
There you go. You see how convoluted her storytelling skills are. She's in the middle of telling a story about this gin, and then she would go ahead and explain what is on her bowl, what's on her plate. And look at that hand. It looks like a swollen glove. Wow.
With like the gravy, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, let's try it with the gravy, but let's spoon some of the gravy on it so that I'm trying to set up a good thumbnail. Just bear with me. So anyway, And I'll pour some gravy on the potatoes. I have some mashed potatoes, spaghetti, spicy chicken, Joy, and some rice. Let me lift up my place. So this Nora and her band get invited to play. She was well known for her beautiful voice, by the way. So this was in 1997. They get invited to play at this wedding. And when she got the call for the wedding, it was like the same day and she was busy. So she's like, I can't, I'm busy, you know? Okay, let me just see here. Let's do a
That's half a liter of Coke. It's still too much. Compared to my little can of soda. Yes, I know this name is notorious, but just change the spelling and it will remind you of one of the underrated soda drinks here in the Philippines. Let me just highlight that. There you go. Okay.
thumbnail. You guys will see what it looks like. Okay, I'm gonna get this big bucket out of the way.
Spicy! I know, I'm shallow.
This cute little thing here. So anyways, yeah, let's start. I'm so hungry. Stella brought me some coleslaw.
You're always
All
hungry,
right, so
Chantal.
Bismillah, and let's talk about this spooky story and try some of the food here. Beauty bite.
Yeah. You know when someone is going to have some serious eat, you roll up the sleeves. In Chantal's case, she has no choice but to roll up the sleeves because I don't think she would like her food to taste like abaya or cloth or polyester, whatever that material is. Yes, DJ Shine Young.
Mmm, I love their gravy. Potatoes are creamy and fresh. Mmm, I love rice. I'm so
Fresh. The most overused word in Chantal's vocabulary because she mishonors English. She's so proud of her English proficiency. Whatever is lacking. Hello, Ate Marcel. Oh my God, I'm glad you made it.
hungry.
Kain tayo, ate.
The rice is yummy. It's just steamed rice, but the gravy is really like, it's a salty sauce, right? Mmm. So, the spaghetti. So this has like little hot dogs in it and like a sweet tomato sauce with cheese. Let's see about it. If I like it more now. I found it too sweet before, but
You thought it was too sweet before? You might as well admit that your taste buds are dead.
let's see if I like it now.
Oh, hello, Maleni Luna. Hi, it's been a while since I last saw you here uh, on my comment section. I don't always live stream because I hate brownouts.
Mmm. That's so good.
You like everything anyway. The last spaghetti you had from Jollibee, it was a container good for 6 people. Yeah, there you go. Oh, I lost my buttons here.
I do love it. Mmm. That is so good. Alright, so this singer gets invited to the wedding and she's like, I'm busy, you know, but the person insisted. And just like any person would do, they love their fans, like any performer would do. And like a good performer, you know, she was a really good performer and really cared about her fans, it seems, you know. And the person insisted, like, I must have you for my daughter's wedding. I must have you for my daughter's wedding. Was the mother of the bride who called her. I'm horrible at storytelling, sorry. But she's like, I must have you at my daughter's wedding. She's a huge fan. And Nora was like, okay, I'll make an exception, you know, we'll go. So she got her band together. And they all,
Yes, yes, Ate Marcel. Carbs on carbs on carbs. Spaghetti, mashed potato, kanin.
went to the location. When they got there, they noticed that these people must be very wealthy because like the wealth, everything was like super, it was a huge estate, 3-4 estate. And there were more people there than she had ever seen at any venue. When she got there, they were given a dressing room, a room to prepare. And she was greeted by these women who shook her hand. And she and another band member did note the same thing, that whenever they shook the hands of these people, they were... their skin had a weird texture. And it was...
Sorry, I have low tolerance for spicy food.
like their hands were not soft and warm like human flesh. I love the gravy on the rice. So, and it's also custom in Arabic culture to kiss the cheeks when you're greeting someone. When she was greeting the women.
Maleni, don't let Chantal discourage you from eating the food. I need to breathe. I just realized that spicy chicken joy is a little too spicy for my taste. But I think it turned out to be a good thing that I have the spaghetti. At least the sweet would cancel out the spiciness. It is the kind of food that would force you to have more rice. Although in this case, obviously, Chantal ate spaghetti with rice, which we Filipinos will find very weird. Maybe we pair pancit with rice, but not spaghetti.
Ooh, that's spicy. Beauty bite.
Beauty bite.
Dip the whole thing in gravy. That's spicy and delicious.
I don't understand. I don't understand why Chantal likes her food spicy. It's like it's the only sense of taste left for her.
Again, the women were mostly dressed in black and had pale faces. Kind of like me. I'm not a Jin.
Sorry to inform you, Chantal. You are a Jin. The obese kind of Jin. And for those who just arrived to my live stream, a Jin is the Middle Eastern version of a demon.
Oh. She noticed their skin was a different texture. And also wanted to note, Nora also did report that on her way to the venue, she felt uneasy.
Beauty bite!
And like she was regretting her decision. Their fried chicken's legit. Jollibee's yummy.
You don't have a disposal for your chicken bones, Chantal? I think that's the reason why the fruit flies followed you from the luxury villa to Kuwait.
So they're at the venue, and she goes to perform. She leaves the dressing room. And this is the first time she's seeing the bride and groom. And she thought they looked very bizarre. Not traditional, not custom for like a wedding. Like, the groom was dressed in like old-fashioned clothing, not something you would see modernly at weddings. Like how a groom would dress. And the bride was wearing a black dress with white dots and diamonds and jewels. So they're clearly very affluent people. Could never have too much gravy.
You never have enough gravy, Chantal. I mean, look, you had that much gravy for your bowl of mashed potatoes.
I love the potatoes. So, Nora also noticed that they were expressionless. They were like statues or mannequins. They didn't move, they didn't smile, nothing.
If I'm a little familiar with her story, of course, different settings, you go to a wedding, you realize that a lot of people are a little stoic. Sometimes it's in the culture, sometimes something weird is going on.
So, after a while, she found herself getting oddly tired and worn out and a bit dizzy after playing for a bit for the strange couple. So she decided to, her dressing room area was noisy down on the first floor, so she decided to try the second floor to see if there was a quieter space for her to rest. The second floor was eerie and creepy. It was like abandoned looking. All the rooms on the second floor, there was a bunch of rooms. All of the rooms were closed except for one. So Nora entered the one room. It had one bed with like a worn out mattress, and it was all dusty in there.
Similar to the worn out mattress you had back in Montreal, Chantal?
So she laid down and she fell asleep. And while she was sleeping, she had a nightmare, apparently, about a woman in an all black dress chasing her.
Sorry.
And when she woke up, she found that the bedroom door was closed, even though she knew she had left it open before going to sleep. Well, she found that the door was closed and she couldn't open it. So, after a while of trying and trying, the door finally opened. And she was surprised and horrified to see the woman she had dreamt of, or the figure. But it was apparently a figure with like no features, but was like in a black attire. She saw that it was standing at the door.
Beauty bite.
So, her terrified, thinking maybe she's still dreaming. She closed her eyes. It's just a dream, it's just a dream. She opened her eyes and the woman was gone. But looking down the hall, she saw a young boy standing there and laughing. She heard the laughter. And the boy headed towards the third floor. So confused, she decided to follow the young boy up to the third floor. And just like...
By the way, just my opinion, whenever some ghost stories involve some celebrities, take it with a grain of salt. I know she would be adding a few more details to this story that some of us might miss because Chantal is so disorganized in making mukbang story time that you then lose track of what is she talking about again? Is she describing the food or describing the story that she's supposed to tell us about?
the second floor, the third floor had rooms, but only one was open. The boy went into the room, and the door closed behind him. So at this point, Nora decided to go back down to the first floor and maybe notify people what was going on. There's a boy in the room. But when she went to turn to leave, something grabbed her leg, preventing her from going away. And a voice was saying, "Please, Nora, please sing, sing, sing." Like the voice was getting more insistent.
Sing, my angel of music.
Finally, it released her. And she went back down to the first floor. And the band was frantic. "Where are you? You know, like something's creepy going on here. We went to look for you." And they basically, when they went to look for her, they noticed how creepy the second floor was.
Exactly, Ariana's mama. And she thinks that what Stephanie is doing is easy. It's not. And now, right now, I just realized that it's hard to be eating and reacting to Chantal at the same time. Simply because I'm one of those people with a relatively strong stomach. Yeah, I can watch Chantal and still eat. You know. Hi, hi. Oh my God! Thank you very much, Betty Boykin, for the super chat. I love you. Oh my God, been a long as well since I've had a super chat that big. Thank you very much.
And they also saw and heard things similar to what Nora had. So, at this point around them, they noticed people celebrating. And they caught a glimpse of the legs. And they were like hooved creatures with like hairy bodies. Like goat men, like what is believed in Jin mythology. So at this point, they were like, "Yeah, I'm out of here." Rightfully so. And they fled. And after that, they actually retired from music. So something must have really frightened them off. So messy. Something must have frightened them off.
You are so messy, Chantal. But you have gotten so boring lately. We have to amuse ourselves. Find our own way of gimmicks to make our reaction videos at least entertaining. You know?
Now, I think I read that Nora sadly passed away in 2016. May she rest in peace. But she was asked so many times to do interviews. And she always refused to even interview. And that's where I tend to be, I tend to believe the stories more. Because if she was just doing it for clout, she would be doing interviews. But
It takes one to know one, right, Chantal? If she's doing it for clout, she'd be granting more interviews.
rumored that she did do, after some really, intense asking or begging of her to do it, that she did do an interview. Now,
I hope I don't sound too clogged. I just realized that my tolerance for spicy food is still low, and I am afraid I cannot finish my chicken joy right now. On the other hand, there are some parts that think I can still eat because spicy chicken joy is just chicken joy sprinkled with chili powder. Sorry, I had to spoil that for you. I love Jollibee, but I see it for what it is, you know? So yeah, just um a little disclaimer there. And by the way, you can always find the Jollibee close to where you are, even in places where there are no Filipino communities. Weird, but you know, Jollibee knows that they cannot always focus on the Filipino community to make sure that they have buyers. I mean, look at here. A Canadian moved to Kuwait, and she still craves for fast food. And she even went back to one of her favorite fast food chains, Jollibee.
apparently, the interview cannot be found. I wasn't able to find anything. And the interviewer shortly died after that interview.
Mm.
Which is pretty creepy, if that's true. Like, you wanted the interview so bad. Be careful what you wish for, you know? This food is phenomenal. I don't remember it being, like, I love it. It's very meaty.
If Chantal can do it, if you're planning to do a mukbang story time yourself, finish the food or maybe eat the food while sharing the story. And then at the end of the story time, that's when you do your review, like you describe the food, what's the texture, what's the taste, is it too spicy, is it something that you're normally accustomed to. But in this case, well, since this is a rushed attempt at a mukbang story time, well, what do we expect of Chantal?
Compared to how I remember it when I tried it in Toronto. Yum.
All the Kuwait food with by Vega, grilled meats, spices, and fruits. The most, I'm not sure how similar the Middle Eastern cuisines are, but I am so happy that there are finally some food joints close to where I am that are now offering kebabs, biryani rice, shawarma. Shawarma is almost so common here that I remember a Syrian vlogger complaining that, yeah, the shawarma that Filipinos enjoy eating, it's not the real shawarma. Like, okay, what is your idea of shawarma? Your own shawarma? That vlogger is from Syria, of course. And then once they realized that there's a big shawarma market here in the Philippines, yeah, they put up their own and made sure that it's according to the Syrian recipe or Syrian version of the recipe. Because last time I checked, the number one shawarma fast food joint here in the Philippines is named Turks. And I'm not even sure if the Turks themselves, the real Turks, are aware of that. And then there was unfortunately a defunct shawarma place I used to go to. They followed the Lebanese recipe. I can't tell the difference between any of those versions, you know? Hello, Marjorie Campano. Nice to have you here. So the grilled meats, yeah, grilled meat is quite a staple in Middle Eastern cuisine that they like them grilled. It's like they're not really fans of fried food. On the other hand, I'm also aware that since they like going out on camps, the best way they can cook meat is by grilling it. I'm sure she meant hers because she makes everything fresh from home. Oh yes, fresh. Just like in the previous video I made. She told her audience that we should be happy whenever she overuses the word fresh. Hello po, Miss Marjorie Campano. I am one of those people not happy that she's overusing the word fresh. She might as well just admit that she has a limited vocabulary, Miss Honors English.
Last piece. Crispy with gravy. You guys know I love gravy.
Pangatlong chicken joy na niyan. Third piece of chicken joy, allegedly, but nobody believes that Salah ate the other pieces of chicken joy because apparently in Kuwait, there's a bucket of chicken joy that contains 9 pieces, while here in the Philippines, the biggest chicken joy bucket is 8 pieces.
So that's the story.
Oh, that's the story. We lost track of the story. We're so distracted with your eating. Would you like making another video in the future? Not that we expect you to, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to add. Whenever she did mention it to somebody,
See how disorganized her mukbang story time is? Oh, I forgot to add. Yeah. By the time you're done eating, that's when you remembered everything that you forgot to add.
close to her, about where she had gone, the location. They said that place had been abandoned for some time. Making the experience all that more mysterious, right? Mm. Mm.
Hmm.
The chicken is so good.
Did anyone hear that? She swallowed so loudly.
Would I say better than KFC? It's pretty on par with that. Maybe slightly better. It depends how they cook it. If it's fresh, you know.
If you would even find time to visit the Jollibee branch, you would see that, yeah, they do cook it. Because last time I checked here in the Philippines, they teach that the best, if you want to gain your customers' trust in the restaurant business, make sure that your customers can see the kitchen. They can see how they prepare your food, and then you're rest assured that it's fresh off the stove. Where are the napkins? She she had some napkins a while ago while she was eating. Unfortunately, she has used them all up. Also, she's gross anyway. Great. The flag is stuck. Spicy! She's so She finds it so cute. It's her assurance that it's spicy. Oh, sorry.
When I say fast food is fresh, what I mean is freshly prepared. Like, I've had fast food that's nasty, where it's like you can tell it's been sitting under the lamps for gosh know how.
Chantal, there are fast foods that are nasty, but you have a nasty way of eating. And you have the nerve to complain that some food served in fast food joints is nasty? You never looked at the mirror anyway. You love your filter so much.
How long? Most of the when I say it's fresh, it's like made to order.
Made to order
I
your
don't mean that
face.
fresh, colorful produce.
Produce is not applicable to chicken.
Mm. Very, very delicious. I hope Salah enjoyed his. He's eating in another room with Howie in his gaming room. He'll do mukbangs with me sometimes. We might get a huge table for the other room and set it up so I can like cook on it with you guys, like make things. And then he can do mukbangs with me as well, because right now this is like a very small table. Anyway, I'm gonna go wash my hands and clean up here.
Yeah, let's pretend that you have some napkins left for you to use. We are just reusing them.
And I love these plastic things, makes for easy cleanup. But yeah, I'm using a laptop box, whatever. I need a better setup. But anything, whatever works, you know? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Spicy, spicy.
Finally, it kicked in. Chantal realized how spicy the chicken is.
And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Okay. And we survived the video. At exactly the best mukbang from Chantal. Actually, her mukbangs are getting worse. She's just eating for the sake of eating and inserting a story time for the sake of having content. Sorry about that. I burped. My bad. Where are my manners? Yeah, so how can I rate that? Of course, it's horrible. Horrible story time. She's so distracted. The food is supposed to complement the story time. Oh, let me repeat what I said. The food is supposed to complement the story time, not serve as a distraction to what she's trying to say. Hello, are you still there? I think I have less video. I have less viewers now. I think they already got annoyed with the eating noises. I'm sorry. So, yeah, it's sometimes I'm speechless at describing some of these things, and yeah, I think I read somewhere on Twitter that even reaction channels are running out of things to say about these mukbangs because what else is new? Apart from her deteriorating when it comes to her storytime skills. This is why I often ask you if you can still hear me because, it happens that my microphone is a little too far from me. Oh, thank you very much. Grateful Live. See you on the next live stream or video, which one would allow me to do so. Um, yeah, good thing the gravy is not spicy. At least I can consume that. I don't always show my face, but I make it a point to show my face simply because I remember being taught in marketing in the past that maybe showing your face is not always a good idea, but most of the time people trust more um, a live streamer or YouTube content creator whose face they can see. It's often a discretion on the part of the YouTube content creator. In on my case, if I don't have a problem showing my face, then let's go ahead. I slightly felt bad for Salah just for a moment, but he's just as bad in his own way. I mean, we always have that hunch about Salah. Like it doesn't seem like he's getting much from this now, but I've been told by some people who work in Kuwait that the only reason why some Kuwaitis tolerate immigrants to their country at the moment or even before is because if they can have some of the harder jobs or the more strenuous jobs outsourced to the immigrants and have them paid for it, then yeah, they would do so. And that is what Salah is doing to Chantal. He knows he doesn't have much of a market, if you even call it a market, on YouTube. Like, how pathetic are his live streams? Who's watching? Apart from a few lost souls. If he can't make money on YouTube, he will make his wife work for that money. In a sense, Salah is not making money on YouTube, but Chantal is. So it's Chantal that would be working hard for the money. And now I think I agree with the consensus that it's not my opinion, it's also something I read on Reddit that maybe someone is paying Chantal this much money to do these mukbang videos simply because, hey, it's basically free food. You get paid. I mean, someone pays for your food and then you also get paid for being as obnoxious and as you have these eating noises done on YouTube. The views are not that good, but it's paid, you know. Hello, Oceana song. Oh my god. I love seeing you here, Oceana song. Don't worry. There's still replay for this. I'm about to finish this live stream anyway. I took a gamble in live streaming even if I know that brownouts or blackouts, as more commonly known outside the Philippines, is getting more frequent. So here, yay, yes, you can see my face. we just You can see my face. You can see the. I mean, look at what happened. I didn't even finish my food. Sorry, spaghetti and spicy chicken joy because my spicy tolerance is very low. I might find a way to eat that tomorrow, maybe during lunchtime. Okay, your self esteem would have. Let's show that. Your self esteem must. Uh, Great. Your self esteem would have to be so low to degrade yourself like Shanti does. Oh, yes. Maybe, you know what? Is it just me, or there really was a time that Chantal considers herself too too good to doing paid for mukbangs? I mean, at least Hungry Fat Chick admits that she gets paid to eat on camera, gets paid to make all those eating noises as loud as possible, as sensual as possible, just so she can make money. At least in the past, I remember the speculation that Hungry Fat Chick gets paid more on the smut sites than on YouTube itself because especially now that YouTube has this policy on this eating, on these eating disorders, and then monetizing it. Channels like Chantal and the other, I'm not even sure I would include Eugenia Cooney because eating noises are definitely not her cup of tea because she would simply live stream, show her body, show how skinny her legs have gotten just to make sure that it's like she keeps monitoring how skinny she can remain, you know. And then Amberlyn Reed, I don't always monitor her that much. I get updated, but I don't feel so motivated to make videos about her, especially after she took down the subreddits that talked about her. I think she is getting paid to do those mukbangs. Yes, she's getting paid to do those mukbangs. Um, it's where the money is, and Salani did the money. Salah Salah found a way to make money without making the effort. That's it. Which is why sometimes I still remember how some Filipinos are discouraged from working in Kuwait now. Living conditions are not always good, and then some of them, the most unfortunate ones, end up with an abusive employer. Maybe you have heard about the cases of domestic helpers who returned to the Philippines in a box after they suffered the worst possible situations in Kuwait. The latest one, they did not reveal the name of the suspect to the murder and SA of a domestic helper because he turned out to be 17 years old, meaning a minor. So what happened is there's very scarce updates about that compared to the previous cases of murdered domestic workers that already have decisions imposed on them. They already got punished. I'm not sure if they would be featured in some of the true crime channels that I watch at the moment. I highly recommend that chapter and Coffee House Crime. And of course, lately, Dark Asia with Megan. That's the name of the YouTube channel. Okay, there's another mukbanger by the name Kate. I don't know her last name. You mean Kate Yup, that one mukbanger that Chantal tried to copy and was once speculated of being kidnapped herself. That Kate Yup is that Kate Yup speculation is more of a conspiracy theory, and Kate Yup did not admit or deny it. She just enjoyed the income. Yes. Oh, that's good. Okay. Chantal glamorizes Kuwait as if it's a perfect place to live. It's not. I've not been to Kuwait. I have some friends who have relatives that have been to Kuwait. Most of the closer friends that I have, they would prefer to go to Dubai because they say that there's a lot of freedom there. So at least Chantal is telling the truth about that. Kuwait, I end up talking about the worst things I've heard about Kuwait. And I think the worst thing about Kuwait, trigger warning, self harm, allegedly. God, that spicy powder. Sorry about that. We know some people who returned from Kuwait in a box and did not receive death benefits because, according to the employer, the cause of death is self deletion. If self deletion is the cause of the death, no death benefits received. They get to save money while trying to nip in the bud any speculation about the actual cause of death. I'm the worst case scenario type of person. I just hope Chantal will not end up like that. Besides, her husband is Syrian, not Kuwaiti, unless he has learned that part of Kuwait as well. There are a lot of horror stories that have I have learned about Kuwait. Wow, that's terrible. It is terrible. I just hope other Middle Eastern countries don't do that. I'm not hoping too much about that. But of course, a lot of these horror stories come from Kuwait. Either they're on the news or they're from people you intimately know. Which is why whenever I see Twitter and some of these people starting to quote the law, excuse me. Sorry. Oh my god, some jinn from Kuwait is stopping me from telling these stories. As much as it's nice to quote the law occasionally, not all of us are lawyers. And a lot of these loopholes in Kuwait will not be happening if there's actual implementation of the law. And yeah, I remember being on Twitter telling Allah, eh, just remember Allah, a lot of us are still disappointed in you for not pushing through with suing Chantal. He has his priorities, no longer my problem. Sometimes they just wanted to keep their jobs while making sure that they keep an eye. Although, who knows what Allah is doing at the moment? I mean, why did Chantal and Salah move into another apartment again? They made it look like they moved to another apartment, but look at the background. Look at the mukbangs that followed after that move. We still see the blue couch and the table covered in plastic. They're taking us for idiots. Anyway, and there are a lot of things that are nice about Kuwait. There are people that appreciate having some immigrants work for them. And there are other Kuwaitis that would rather have the immigrants do any kind of work that is beneath them. That's their problem now. Also, um, I'm not sure if I'm the right person that would be saying this, but Filipinos almost got banned from. Well, I don't think banned is the right word, but yeah, the Philippines then, under a different president, had a conflict with Kuwait simply because there are some domestic helpers that have been claiming that they were abused as domestic helpers, and then they called in the Philippine embassy, and then the moment that it was proven, they staged a rescue operation. So of course the employer, the Kuwaiti employer, started complaining that the domestic workers had a breach of contract because they escaped before their contracts would end. On the other hand, if these workers are complaining that they're being abused and the Philippine embassy did not do anything about it, who knows how worse things could get. It was made worse by the fact that it has footage of the rescue operation. Perhaps the embassy's way of telling the relatives of the domestic workers that, yeah, they've been rescued, they're alive, and they're ready to go home. Just need to clear that breach of contract thing. He ended up with an abusive employer. Of course, you'll try to find ways to escape and return to your home. Anyway, before I ended up telling more of these stories, I really appreciate that you accompanied me. Thank God, no blackout occurred. Before another blackout occurred, I would end this stream now. See you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching this. See you on the next video. Bye bye. What happened to my mouse? Oh, bye bye.